Hey everyone! I hope you all are having a fabulous day. Today I have a fun jewelry making tutorial for you. We are going to be making these wire wrapped bracelets out of aluminum wire. And I just love aluminum wire because it's very bendable. So you can pull it out like this and push it back in. And these bracelets are super easy to put on. I also did a ring tutorial a little while ago using the same technique. So I will link that in the description below. And what you're going to need is some 14 gauge aluminum wire. And this is a 2mm aluminum wire. Some places call it 2mm, some places call it 14 gauge. But you're going to need two pieces and they're going to be 18 inches long. So just cut two of those. And then you'll also need one piece of 1mm wire, which is about 16 to 17 gauge. And this one needs to be 30 inches long. And then you'll just need any 6mm round beads. I'm using these pretty African turquoise beads, and you'll need about 9 of those. And just to let you guys know, the bracelet we're making is going to be about 7 inches long. So I have about a 6.5 inch wrist, so that's about how it fits on me. The tools you're going to need are a round nose pliers, flat nose pliers, and also a wire cutter. And this one is a flush cutter, so it makes like a straight edge when you cut it, and that's very helpful. But you can still use just a regular wire cutter if that's all you have. The supplies list will also be in the description, and I'll have links to where you can purchase them if you need to. We're going to start by taking one of our 2mm wire pieces, and I'll just refer to this as a 2mm wire, and this one as the 1mm wire. So take one of these, and we're just going to bend it in half. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but try and find like the midpoint of it, about like that. So you have like a little U shape there. And then we're just going to cross one over the other like this. And then just slowly make it like a real tight loop. Just pull it as tight as it'll go. All right. And we're actually making our heart shape. So it's this little heart right here. This is how we start it. Starts with love. So then you can grab that little loop there and then just pull these down. And we're just going to cross them over each other like this. And do this kind of slowly because you don't want to have like a weird shaped heart. So you kind of want to go slowly. So if you need to pull one side more than the other, you can still do that. And that's about where I want it. So then I'm going to take my fingers and hold that again. And we're just going to bend these two wires back out. So then they're like touching each other right here. So I'm going to take it and kind of just bend it out like this. And bend this one out like this. And then I'm going to make them touch. So it looks like that. And then the next thing we're going to do is grab our 1mm wire, which is the long thin one. And what I do is I take my piece I just made and I'm going to measure about how long one side is, just like this. Measure up to where those two wires meet. I want this piece to be about that long. And then I'm just going to take it and bend it at a right angle, like this. And you can use your tools for this, but the tools sometimes will scratch the wire, so I like to use my fingers as much as possible. So we're going to set this down, and what I'm going to do is take this. I have like the short part here, long part here. I'm going to hold it like this. Let's flip it over this way, actually. So short part here, long part here. And I'm going to take my round nose pliers. I'm going to put it right here at the end. Just hold it here up like this. And then I want to wrap this long part over the round nose pliers. And then it turns out like this. So now we have it started where it's like starting to wrap around. So this is like a little cheat to wrapping around the first loop. So see, you can fit it right here so that the short side is going this way. So it matches up with this. And then long side is coming out this way. And then you see it just kind of fits in there. So it's already starting to wrap around a little bit. It'll make it a lot easier when you start to wrap. So we're going to turn it on its side like this. And I'm going to hold all 3 of these wires right here. Just hold them all together. If you need to bend them closer, that's okay. And I'm going to hold it like this. Take this wire and slowly wrap it around. And we're going to have 3 wraps around like this. And then you can just stop right there. So you'll have your long wire out here, and then your other 3 wires here. Your 2 thick ones are on the outside and your thin ones on the inside. So we're going to grab that thicker 2mm wire and just push it out like this. And push the other one out like this so it's out of the way. So let's set this piece down. And I'm going to grab my other piece of 2mm wire and I'm going to fold it in half. And then we're going to do something similar as we did on the first 2mm wire, where we're going to cross these 2 over and then just pull it so it's making a loop. And then you don't have to pull it real tight. You want to have it a little bit open. Probably about that size or so. Because what we're going to do is take our other piece with our heart, and you're going to take this loop and put it over the heart. And then the part that's crossed, you want to put that out front. So it goes over these other 2 that you have out on the side, over like this. And let's put it on its side like this. I like to work this way. So now, before we do anything else, we need to add a bead. Let's add one of these African turquoise beads. So just kind of hold that together there while we add a bead. And that's going to go all the way to where those little coils are, the ones up here. And you're going to take this, actually we need this a little bit bigger, so just kind of open it up so that your bead kind of fits in that little section there. Then you want to kind of hold everything together. And we're going to take these 2 and pull them back out like we did these, so where they're touching each other. So I'm going to pull this out like this. Bend this one back like this, and then it's going to touch. Then we're going to take this long wire. This is our 1mm wire. So hold everything together right here. This shorter wire is still just going straight out this way. You want to have this one in the middle. So this one we're going to take back around, and we're going to go up in between these 2. And you want to kind of pull it where it's tight enough where it's not going to leave any gaps. And we're just going to wrap it around. I got 1, 2, 3. Then you can push these 2 out like this, so they're kind of parallel to these 2. Looks like this. So you still have this towards the back. And then we're going to add a bead again. And you just want to hold it in place. And then we're going to take the top 2 and bend them over. So we're going to bend it. You can kind of use your thumb to kind of round it a little bit and pull it over, and they're just going to cross this top one. Bend it over. Keep this straight. You can even push it in a little bit like that. And then you're just going to pull this out so they touch. And then you're ready to wrap your 1 millimeter wire around this one. So we're going to take it and put it through these two and wrap around 3 times. And then you can keep going from there and doing the same thing. And you're going to have 9 beads total. And then once you get to the end, I'll show you how to finish off. You can also bend it over like this and then push it back, and then bend it over and push it back, whatever feels more natural to you. If you like to cross it over, or if you like to do one at a time. And that was my last bead, so now I'm ready to finish off. So I'm going to take this 1 millimeter wire that we've been wrapping around, and then the one that we've been stringing beads on, and I'm going to take these two, bend it towards the back, and then just twist them a few times, like this. And I'm even going to use my tool just to make sure it's twisted really tight. So we can just go like this. And just twist it to where it's tight enough. You don't want to like over twist it because then it could snap. So that is pretty tight. And then I'm going to take my cutters and I'm going to cut just enough so I can kind of tuck it in here. So I'm going to cut about this much. To tuck it in, I'm just going to bend this little tail here. Just kind of angle it down like this. And then press it in. And then I can even take my flat nose pliers and then squeeze it. But you want to be careful because if you do too much squeezing, you might make this kind of a rough edge. So just squeeze it, just maybe one time. And there you go. And now we're going to cut all of these. I usually cut it like just slightly over an inch. I don't really measure it, but you can if you want. So I'm going to trim them to about here or so. And I'm using my flush cutters, so it's going to make a nice clean cut right here. So you can see this one is nice and straight, but the other side has like kind of a little point to it. And the next thing we're going to do is loop these in. So we're take these bottom loops and we're going to take it from the end using our round nose pliers. Just squeeze it right there on the end and then curl it under like this. Then I'm going to take it, and I like to stay about where I was with my pliers so that way I don't dent any of the part out here. So I'm going to take it like this and then just loop it in like that. Do the other side loop it around. And then take that inside part and then just loop it towards the center. So it looks like that. And then these top ones, we are gonna just loop them inward this way. So take them like this. And that's how it turns out. So what you want to do next is bend your bracelet so it fits like a bracelet. So we're gonna just bend it, just slowly, just kind of shape it as you go. And I do sort of like an oval shape, not a complete circle. Looks like that when it's done. That way you can like pull it out a little bit and slip it on. And then you can squeeze it and it stays about the right shape. Just pull it off. And if you feel like these aren't really even, sometimes I like to use my flat nose pliers and just do a little squeeze right here and right here. And just to make them a little bit flatter. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I have another one right up here in the corner for you. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.